if you really want to look at it that way. It's our inability to be able to conceive or even believe in our own power. And believe in what our connection could be. I mean, you could start getting into different theories about what the Earth is, whether there's land that they're hiding. I've often speculated there's land that they're hiding. There's land either outside the poles or there's islands that are not on the maps. There's somewhere that these people who are really in control are, and we don't even know that they're there. Yeah, that's where you start getting into hollow Earth theory or flat Earth theory or all sorts of theories
Or
about where
a way bigger Earth, and we're just in a small section,
a way
quarantined
bigger
off
Earth.
from everybody else. Exactly.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I've often suggested that what we know as the Earth is simply the floor of a mine. We're living in the floor of a mine, and we're tiny, tiny, tiny little people. You know, the Earth, you look at some of the tabletop mountains and stuff that look like old silicon trees they chopped down. I mean, the stories of giants and things. I think we're like the fairies, but we've lost our wings. We're like Tinkerbell. We're tiny, tiny little creatures running around in the long grass. And we think it's all mountains and forests and stuff. It's not. There was a lot bigger life form, like an avatar. There was huge, huge speculation, and it's difficult to prove anything. Believe the only reason we even have these debates is because we're not free. You know, so that's what I mean. If we can just step back and see how we're being played, and you want to know what that higher force is, whether it's the Elohim, whether it's aliens, or whether it's someone from inland, or whether it's hollow Earth, or whatever it is, if we simply stop complying with our own slavery, suddenly believe in ourselves, and stop complying with the dictates of these parasites masquerading as government and politicians, then who they are will become self-evident. It will be who's screaming the loudest, trying to get us back on track and do what we're told.
Right.
Yeah, that's
There'll
the
be
problem.
consequences.
Exactly, you know. So it's even the speculation. We start getting into these debates, and I go, well, I think this. Then we get into a debate. We spend the next day arguing about it, and trying to push our view on each other. And at the end of the day, we've achieved nothing. We're still in the slavery system. We didn't actually step into our power and say no. Learn how to say no. You know, the government. How do you do that? How do you get your power to tell me what to do? Tell me that I've got to have a jab or I lose my job. Who are you? How have you got any authority with everything that you've done? I mean, we can see all this corruption that you're doing, but we can't arrest you. Well, thank you for that confirmation that there is no law, and I don't have to do what I'm told anymore. You know, if
We're taking orders and paying
attitude, brother,
taxes. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean
yeah,
to
but if
interrupt you.
people just had that attitude, it would change the world in a day. This is what's so frustrating for me. That people say, "Oh, you're not providing any solutions." And yes, you are the solution. You know, just believe in yourself. Everything changes when you do that. So, but I think, yeah, maybe there is something. Maybe there is a higher force. Maybe it is the Elohim. Maybe it is whatever. But maybe it's just us. Maybe it's simply us refusing to believe in ourselves. Because like I said, ultimately, if there is an Elohim, if there is a whatever, we are energetically connected to it. We all come from the same source because this universe itself is made completely of energy. And that energy is conscious. It's what you do with that. And whether you even are connected to it and even are aware of that, you know.
Cliff High is in the chat and he says, yes, be ungovernable. I totally agree with that. And I wanted to have your take on that too, Max. This whole idea that every protagonist needs an antagonist. So whether it's the Elohim, the small hats, the Cabal, whatever they are, they're all playing a role in this huge awakening process. If only we let ourselves understand what the game truly is. And this is where perhaps all of the disguise and all the propaganda is being pushed at us, so that we don't understand which game we're actually playing. So we become these automatons in this pinball machine of life here on the planet. Speak about the antagonist, the role of the antagonist, and if only as a mirror to us understanding here the bigger picture of the world we have here as incarnating beings in this particular life.
Well, it's to get you fighting against something, rather than looking within yourself and seeing what you're fighting against is your belief that the antagonist has any authority over you or anything. When people have a problem with me, I often say, well, it's your problem. It's not my problem. I don't care what you think of me. I've never watched any of the hit pieces anybody's made about me or anything like that because I won't be the protagonist. I just won't play that game. I'm here to become all that I can possibly be and to become the best that I can be, to connect with people and realize that they are myself. I am myself, in Lakesh. I am another yourself. We're all in this game together. We all have something to offer each other. We all have a completely different perspective because we're all a different frequency. But we argue about all this stuff. They want to keep you in that protagonist and defending yourself against stuff. Even the laws and shit they put you there. You got to do this and do that and fight against the government and fight to survive and build this and bargain with the builder and do all this stuff and barter when you're going to the store, try to get a good deal. And every single aspect of our lives is around this. We could just step away from it and realize that it's an emotional mirror. It's an emotional mirror, and it's incredible. It's fascinating. Just the fact that we can be here. Two souls that come from a single source can sit here and have a conversation with each other. We can actually experience duality. It's incredible. I mean, imagine if you're just connected to source all the time. There in a billion years connected to all it is. It must get pretty boring. Now, I mean, if you were God, what would you do with that? I'm an omnipotent being. What are you going to do? Gee, I wouldn't want some company and someone to talk to, you know. Perhaps I'll shatter my consciousness into 6 billion different frequencies so we can all mess around with each other and see what we come up with.
We can create randomness and see what will happen.
Exactly. Find out how God became God or whatever. I mean, we could go endless possibilities of what we can do if we can experience ourselves. But everything about this world is designed to distract us from that. It's why you have this protagonist-antagonist relationship with virtually every single aspect of our lives, like all of it. Just going to the local store, you have this same thing. Dealing with a taxi driver, dealing with other people on the road. I mean, it's all that same situation. Don't fall into it. It's a trap. It's an emotional mirror, and they're trying to keep you in that state of distraction so that you won't ever discover yourself. Because as soon as you discover yourself and step into that, the whole world changes. It's really simple. You know, to change reality is so simple that people can't see the forest for the trees. They just think there's got to be a war. There's got to be something done. It isn't just a matter of me changing my perspective. Oh, this is New Age stuff. People say if you meditate, if you change the inner world, you'll change the outer world. So work that way. These things, these spiritual understandings are these things that you, what we were talking about before, the temples in Egypt, the books that teach you the emotion. You've got to apply that to the physical world. You're in a physical world for a reason. Okay, the world, you've got stuff around you can touch. We're having this interaction. Could be a clue there. Perhaps you're supposed to bring those spiritual understandings and participate in this 3D reality with these spiritual understandings. Not just sit there and meditate and think I'm a guru and the whole world's going to change if I don't apply myself to the people around me. I'll just isolate myself and get away from all that because I'm such a guru. No, it doesn't work that way. We're all in this together. We can all help each other's path through. See, when people write these self-help books and stuff, I mean, and people think, well, if I read Max's book, suddenly I'll become like Max. Now, all I would be doing would be giving you my path and what helped me along the way in the hope that you might be able to take something from that, some pearl of wisdom, which will, oh, yeah, I can do this and apply it to my own life. And then you will help yourself through the way. It's all about that. I mean, it's called self-help. You know, you don't read a self-help book. That's not self-help. That's help. You know. So,
what's that saying? True victory is self-victory. You're absolutely
yeah, exactly.
The meaning behind my logo is actually that too. It's the circle of life, but also going through that Torii gate, which is the delineation between the mundane and the sacred.
I'm sure there's some secret. I'm sure there's some secret new world order, esoteric meaning to that. That you're leading me down a dark satanic path. I mean, that's what they say with everything.
Don't listen to me. I told you.
Can't move your hands, can't use certain words, can't look in certain directions. Soon we're just going to have to be communicating just by staring at each other because everything is corrupted. You know, you can't believe anything. So yeah.
Well, like Al Gore says, don't listen to John Mystic or any alternative news, or don't listen to Max. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Max,
we ought to be banned. It's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible.
What a fascinating conversation. We're already over the hour mark, man. It went too fast. I'd love to have you back on again. Wow, we have 6,000 people here on Rumble, another 1,000 or so on Twitter. We're doing great. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching here today. Thank you for all the comments. Let us know if you like the show. Give us a thumbs up, but give us some comments below the show. Let us know perhaps what your takeaway was from all of this, and please give me some context also as to perhaps what topics you want us to follow on the next War Correspondent Report. Before we go, I want to ask you two things. One, words of advice on how to do exactly what you described. Get on your own personal path of growth, right? And stop looking at external gratification or the external savior myths. I want your advice on that for the audience members. And two, after that, I want you to share with the audience members what's coming up here, what interviews you're working on. Is there anything specifically in your latest reports here that you want to point the audience's attention to here in order to perhaps grasp these pearls of knowledge as you just mentioned?
Well, I think the most important thing you can do is to put down your stuff with other people and believe in yourself. I mean, I've often said belief is the enemy of knowledge. Just be aware that the more you learn, the more you're going to figure out how much you just don't know. And allow other people to be different. Stop arguing with people. Stop trying to push your belief systems on people. And if they believe something different to you, don't complain about it. Don't call them a flat art or a globe tart or whatever it is that people do. Just allow people to be different and realize that we don't know the truth about anything. And if we can just grow up, become adults, like I said, believe in yourself. You don't need parents. This is one of the things in Western society. We don't have any transitional period where we suddenly become a man. You know, you have, like here in Mexico, they have a quinceanera. When a woman turns 15, she becomes a woman. You've got to be responsible. They have a quinceanero for a boy. This is the moment you become a man. Now you've got to be responsible. Now you're responsible for your actions. You've got to look after yourself in life. It instills that into people. We don't have that in the West. You know, you get to a point, you know, you're 30 years old, you think, I wonder if I've grown up yet. I guess I am. I look in the mirror, I'm starting to get lines on my face, so I guess I'm an adult now. But we still look for the government to do what we're told. I mean, everything that's happening in the world today, I see as a huge opportunity for freedom, a huge opportunity for us to step into ourselves. Everything they've done to break down the supply chain and break down everything with COVID, lock you down, all this stuff, just was to steal more of your soul, to get you more compliant. That's why I never did any of it. I saw it as a huge opportunity for growth. You know, I just don't respect authority unless it comes from a proper place where, you know, maybe the authority of the creator or whatever you might perceive that to be. Right. The government telling me I can't do this and I can't do that, well, why? How can you say this? I mean, when they told me I couldn't go more than 5 kilometres from my home, I started going and doing walk and talks in the national parks. I just started doing everything opposite to what they told me to do. I mean, I see all this as opportunities for growth, brother, and as I've said, life is an emotional mirror. If you can lose your attachment for stuff, I often say no stake in the outcome. I'm only here for a brief experience. Like I've been here 66 years and it feels like it was just a few months. You know, it's so quick. No stake in the outcome. I don't have any stake in the outcome of the human experiment. I won't be here. You know, it's what I do with my life and those people that I've helped along the way. Have I made a difference to the world by being here? You know, I have no stake in the outcome, and I've often said that if you throw yourself to the wind, you can ride it. A lot of people say, how have you ever done all the things that you've done if you ever had no plans to do them? I said, because I was just open to suggestion. If I had plans, I wouldn't have done all the things I've done because I would have had other plans. You know? So it's just how you look at reality. You're here to grow your soul is what you're here to do. And you're here to realize that other people are growing their souls as well. Every person you meet for a reason. Every interaction you have is for a reason. There's something in there for you to either help that person or for them to help you. There's growth in every single encounter with every single person if you're open to looking at it that way. This is what we've missed out on. You know? Like reality is so different. And books and how it's there to train your emotional. You're experiencing so little of reality, just that little tiny bandwidth of visible light, and you're only aware of 5 senses. In that meditation that I had in 2008, 2009, when I cried for 7 hours, for a moment there, I was aware of 105 higher senses. 105 higher senses above the 5 senses. That's 110 senses that this vessel is capable of. And we don't even know they exist. So, you know, if we can just detach from this physical rubbish that we're around and this little rat race that we're on and believing in all this stuff that they give us, you know, these objects that we think mean something, it's ridiculous. What means something is what's in your heart and what's in the heart of others. And if you can look deep enough into the heart of another person, what you'll discover is yourself. That's the most important part, and that's how you change the world. And that might seem really esoteric to people. Well, he hasn't given me any ground plan. Well, yes, I have. Believe in yourself. Look within your own heart. Look within the heart of other people. There's usually fear and desperation in most people's lives. They just want to be loved. They want to be appreciated. They want someone to listen to what they have to say. Right. We don't even know how to listen to people anymore. Someone will come along and they'll pour their heart out to you, and you'll interrupt them and say, oh, well, when that happened to me, and we tell them an anecdote about our life, and we make the whole experience about me. When this guy just wanted to be listened to, you know, and that's half of people's problems. They've never been appreciated. They've never had anyone care about them or listen to them. They've never experienced their parents. They're put in front of a TV. The TV raised them. That's why you have all this TikTok culture and all this Instagram culture. People going me, because they just want to be noticed. They just want someone to give them validity for their life, that I actually exist and I mean something. You know that you do. Know that you do. You don't have to present that to people. Just be yourself. Be the best you can possibly be, because then you will attract all of that energy to you. Then you have to tell people how great you are. I've often said, if your work speaks for itself, don't interrupt. Just be yourself. You know. Let's have a change the world, brother. And I'd be happy to come on and have a chat anytime. It's been great. I mean, we probably do a couple of hour talk. It'd be all good. So.
For sure. I have so many topics I'd like to bend your ear on. Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate that. And don't forget here, before we go, let me just bring up your BitChute channel here. I believe this is where most of your videos, the most recent ones, are. Is there anything specific here too, as people are waking up to all of this? We have new viewers coming up online too. What's important here right now for them to maybe get running, so to speak, here on this awakening process, and understanding perhaps that the truth is not what they've been told? Where would you point them here on your BitChute, and anything else maybe also on your Telegram and your website also?
Look, it's a hard question. You find the last 75 days have all been about Gaza. A lot of the really esoteric stuff I did was before COVID. I mean, I used to talk about a lot of spiritual stuff back then. There's a lot of shows I've done, but unfortunately you won't find any of them on YouTube, and a lot of the old uploads to BitChute don't work. You could go to altcensored.com. You'll find a link there on my BitChute channel, and just go back to the first page. Go back to 2008 and 2009. There's a film that I put out in 2010 called The Awakening, which I think is a very important film that people should watch. There's another film I put out in 2011 or 2012 called Transformation, 2 words, Transformation, which talked about everything that's going on now. It talked about how they were going to modify our DNA from the inside out and move us into transhumanism and all that sort of stuff. There's also a Vimeo channel. If you go, there's a Vimeo link there on my website, you can see. If you go there, you'll find I think I've made 6 films, 5 or 6 full-length films. I haven't made one since 2012, though. I've been wanting to. But I would suggest going there. I mean, even the big picture, the first film I made, is as terrible as the editing is. I was talking about how they're going to use food as a weapon, how everything that they've done to set us up for this massive population. I said World War III has already started. It's a war of depopulation being waged against the governments of the world, against the people. One of the big things they're going to use is control of food. And they've done this through setting all... It's very easy for them to break down the food chain at the moment. Cities don't have any life skills anymore. Everything that you have in your life there came off a truck. Whether it's food, whether it's the desk you're sitting on, or the chair, or the nails that you use to build your house. It's all delivered on a truck. All they have to do is stop that flow, that transport flow down, which is what all this interdependency is about. It's why they've moved us all into cities. And because we don't have any life skills. Everything we need, we just go and buy it from something that came off a truck. So we've been set up for a fall. I said this back in 2008 in the first film. And it's our lack of spiritual awareness, our lack of belief in ourselves that has allowed all this to happen. So this is a time of golden opportunity for us to rediscover ourselves and respect people. Just respect people around you. They're all trying to learn. Doesn't matter if they think something differently. We're all in this together. These people are desperate for recognition. They're desperate for companionship. They're desperate for just, hey, I have value, you know? And if you can suddenly see that they do have value, well, it gives more value to yourself, because you have value as well. We all do. You know? And the most valuable part about you is your thought, your level of consciousness, what you do to the people around you to protect them, to help yourself, to just being a companion, a good person, the best in all that you can be. If we do that, then we change the world. And I see all this as opportunities for that, brother. So if you go back to Alt Censored and look at some of those early videos from maybe 2010, and maybe check out some of the stuff, the films that I put on Vimeo, you'll find a lot of good stuff there. It's really difficult for me to go through it. There's one
there's a lifetime of work there. I know that was a loaded question.
Yeah, there's one video that I put there called "Everything Is a Lie," which I think is an important video. Everything is a lie. And another video I put there called rewiring your brain, about how we're all addicted to our emotions, and by doing certain things, you can change the emotional input you're giving to your brain, which will change. You think of your brain as like your heart is a power source. Your brain is a quantum instrument that turns actuality into reality depending on the emotional content that goes into it. So, and we get addicted to our emotions. People have really bad days. They think, tomorrow I'm going to be really happy, and they get up and within half an hour they're depressed again. Because the food that your brain's feeding, it's going, where's my normal food? I can't manifest reality without my food. You know, and people are giving it negative emotions the whole time. They don't believe in themselves because they're trained not to. So that's the reality that they create, because it's an emotional mirror. So there's a lot of stuff that I did back then. You can go through my radio list, go back through the archives and find a title that looks interesting, and then go on to Alt Censored and search for that title. You might find it.
Right. So guys, if you're interested in getting more deep into this rabbit hole and the incredible mind of Max Egan, you can find it at thecrowhouse.com. You'll find all the links there to Instagram, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and Alt Censored there as well. And some of his videos and the radio archives as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today. This was the War Correspondent for December 22nd. And thank you so much, everyone, in the live chat here. Please do leave us a like on the way out. And we'll see you soon. And my next show, actually, this evening at 9 o'clock, if you want to join me for that, it's going to be here only on Rumble as well. And that's going to be it for the holiday season. And we'll be back after that on January 2nd, I believe, with Sarah Westall and Sean from SGT Report. We're going to look into 2024, a year of chaos. The title of that interview is going to be called Into the Storm. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be a return here for 2024 on January 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.